Imagine a world bathed in the golden light of the eternal sun, a civilization thriving on the banks of a life-giving river. This was ancient Egypt, a kingdom where the line between the world of the living and the realm of the gods was beautifully, terrifyingly thin. For the Egyptians, life was but a preparation for an eternal journey, and this journey was overseen by a pantheon of powerful deities who held the very concepts of life and death in their hands. Today, we journey back in time to meet these divine arbiters of existence. Our story begins, as all things do in Egypt, with the sun. Ra, the sun god, was the ultimate creator and sustainer of life. Every morning, he was reborn in the east, sailing his magnificent solar bark across the sky, bringing light, warmth, and growth to the land of Egypt. He was the king of the gods, the father of all creation. His daily journey was a symbol of the eternal cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. As he dipped below the western horizon, he entered the Duat, the perilous underworld, battling the forces of chaos led by the serpent Apep. If Ra failed, the sun would not rise, and all life would cease. His victory each dawn was a triumph for life itself, a daily promise that order would prevail over chaos. The Egyptians saw his light as the very essence of life, and his absence was a taste of the darkness of the grave. But life, in its vibrant glory, is always shadowed by its inevitable end. And in the Egyptian pantheon, the lord of the afterlife, the master of the dead, was the formidable Osiris. His story is one of the most powerful and enduring myths of ancient Egypt. Osiris was a wise and just king who taught humanity the arts of civilization, but his reign was cut short by his envious brother, Set, the god of chaos and storms. Set tricked Osiris, sealed him in a chest, and cast him into the Nile. Osiris's devoted wife, the powerful magician Isis, searched tirelessly for her husband's body. After finding him, she used her divine magic to breathe life back into him, just long enough to conceive their son, Horus. But Set's cruelty was not finished. He found Osiris's body again, dismembered it into 14 pieces, and scattered them across the land of Egypt. The grief-stricken Isis, with the help of her sister Nephthys, once again embarked on a desperate quest, gathering every piece of her beloved husband. This is where another key figure enters our story. Anubis, the jackal-headed god. Often depicted as a loyal and solemn guide, Anubis was the original god of the dead before the rise of the Osiris cult. It was he who helped Isis and Nephthys piece Osiris back together, performing the very first mummification. This ritual transformed Osiris, not back into a king of the living, but into something far greater, the eternal king of the underworld. Through this act, Anubis became the patron god of embalmers and the protector of tombs. He was the one who would greet the souls of the deceased, weigh their hearts, and guide them through the treacherous paths of the Duat towards their final judgment. His presence was a comfort, a promise that even in death, one would not be alone. Once a soul, guided by Anubis, reached the Hall of Two Truths. It faced the ultimate test. Here, presided over by the resurrected Osiris, the deceased's heart was weighed on a giant golden scale against the feather of Mat, the goddess of truth, justice, and cosmic order. This was the moment of judgment. The heart, believed by the Egyptians to be the seat of intelligence and memory, had to be lighter than the feather. Tu insur. Dis. The deceased would recite the negative confessions, declaring all the wrongdoings they had not committed in life. Watching this delicate procedure was Thoth, the ibis-headed god of wisdom, writing, and knowledge. As the divine scribe, it was his duty to record the result of the weighing. Thoth was the master of divine words, the keeper of secrets, and the arbiter of disputes among the gods. His judgment was final and impartial. If the heart was in balance, Thoth would record the soul's righteousness, and Osiris would welcome them into the field of reeds, a heavenly paradise, an idealized version of Egypt where they would live for eternity. But what if the heart was heavy with sin, heavier than the feather of truth? Then a terrifying fate awaited. Crouching beside the scales was the devourer of the dead. This monstrous creature was a terrifying chimera, with the head of a crocodile, the forequarters of a lion, and the hindquarters of a hippopotamus. Three largest minotaurs known to the ancient Egyptians. If the heart failed the test, it was thrown to Emmet to be devoured. This was not damnation in a fiery hell, but something far worse to the Egyptian mind: complete and utter annihilation. To be eaten by Emmet meant the end of your existence, your soul ceasing to be, erased from the cosmos forever. The second death, from which there was no return and no hope of an afterlife. So, you see, for the ancient Egyptians, life and death were not opposites, but two sides of the same coin. A continuous journey managed by the gods. Ra offered the gift of daily life and rebirth. Osiris, through his own death and resurrection, offered the promise of eternity. Anubis provided the sacred rites and guidance to navigate the transition. Thoth ensured justice was served with unerring wisdom, and Mat provided the very standard by which a soul was judged. Together, they formed a complex and profound system that gave meaning to every moment of an Egyptian's life. It was a faith that conquered the fear of death, transforming it from a final end into a glorious new beginning. Their stories, carved in stone and written on papyrus, continue to captivate us, reminding us of a civilization that looked death in the face and saw not an ending, but a doorway to forever. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the Egyptian underworld. If you enjoyed this exploration, please hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next adventure into the ancient world. See you next time.